pro at getting things done. Up every damn day at 4 a.m. just to be at work by 6, which means my 3-year-old had to be up too. Now most days, she would just go with the flow because she would fall asleep as soon as we got in my uncle's car. She was rarely fussy, but inside, I was torn. Who wants to wake up their little one that early on a daily basis? By 6:30 a.m., I'd be in the lab, dressed in a hazmat suit, to prep for the day's work, ensuring the biosafety cabinets were tidy, monitoring the cells, and setting up processing procedures for the day, all by 8 a.m. And it still wasn't enough. I was asked to train every person that started after me to eventually watch them climb the corporate ladder without me. I did this every day with the hope that maybe I would be next for a raise, the promotion, and an acknowledgement that being a Black woman in biotechnology was the right place for me. By the time my daughter was 6, she would tell people, "My mommy's a scientist." And I loved how proud she sounded. It really gave me the strength I needed to get through my shift every day. My other source of strength came from the fact that I was working on science that could benefit our people. I used to think to myself, what would the world be with medicine made from our own bodies? Positive outcomes seemed endless, so I really wanted to stay there forever, just to see how far we would go with this new technology. Unfortunately, years of microaggressions cloaked in feedback made me feel like I was a hamster on a wheel, constantly moving, but I wasn't going anywhere. Would I ever be good enough? These words hung over me like a dark cloud that I just couldn't shake. Nothing I did ever felt acceptable. Y'all remember this song? Ain't no mountain high enough. Well, that's how I felt. Like I was pushing the hugest boulder I could find up the highest mountain while still being on the hamster wheel. Not a pretty picture, is it?
We just aren't sure why you seem so upset, Natasha. You're doing a great job,
they would say. Well, if I'm so great, then how come I can't be in a supervisory position, I would ask. I know the assistant role better than majority of the department because I've been in it for 5 years. Doesn't that make me a good fit for the assistant supervisor role? My logic was there, or so I thought, because the response I received was,
people are afraid of your attitude. You have the power to affect everyone's mood. When you're happy, everyone's happy. But when you're upset, you bring down the whole department's morale.
Funny, I did not know I was like Storm from the X-Men. I have the power to control everybody's attitude? How, y'all? This didn't make no sense to me. I mean, we're all grown. And I've watched plenty of people be upset by how things are done, and it's called passion. But when I do it, it's attitude. I've trained everyone that is now in a management position, and I feel like I'm not growing. Wouldn't that make you seem a little angry or frustrated? Again, the response was,
I think your perspective is off.
Or my favorite,
we're a new company, and you're just doing too much, too fast.
Here I am, thinking I'm doing my best, only to find that my best was their version of mediocre. I remember coming home one day in the world's worst mood. It had been a long week at work, and it was only Tuesday. My child, who was about 10 at this point, was like, "You okay, Mom?" "No, I'm not. I had a bad week at work."
"Why don't you just leave, Mom?"
And as much as I knew she was right, I just couldn't do it yet. I was too scared. In June of 2019, I went on vacation and came back to a department transfer. It felt like the rug had been pulled from underneath my feet. No matter how much I tried to get my supervisor, HR, and trusted colleagues to listen to how unfair I felt my disqualification was, no one cared. It was too late, they said. My fate was sealed. I was moved away from the lab to an administrative position. An administrative position for real? That's what we're doing? Y'all, I know I did not belong there, but I had to do what I had to do because I still needed the job to take care of my baby. But could I do better? Under my admin role, I was given the opportunity to work on other projects. So I decided to introduce one of my own, a diversity, equity, and inclusion program to speak to the strength of having, bringing more diversity to our organization. Fast forward to December 2020. Finally, maybe I'm getting somewhere. I was given a service award titled, Never Give Up. All right now. This award was supposed to be for the resiliency shown in the workplace when it came to the implementation of new systems or improvements within our organization. As the vice president began to read my accolades for winning this award, I realized this was not for my work in DEI. It was given to me because I showed up, because I breathed air and spoke in complete sentences. I was not given the award for the presentations I used to pitch my DEI ideas for 2 years straight before they finally decided to adopt them, or for all the research that I had put together to show the strength of having a DEI department in other companies that represented our industry. Where I should have felt proud, I wasn't. They really had the caucasity to give me this award because I was resilient enough to stay there. Y'all, I hated the word resiliency for a very long time after that. Strike it from my vocabulary. The day I won that award was the nail in the coffin of my career. I did not care that I was about to hit my 10th year and I could give a shit about retiring from that place. I did not care that we were in the middle of the pandemic and I just got engaged, okay? They could keep their fucking pay and the damn benefits. I would have worked at Wendy's if I had to, just as long as I had a job to support my family. I felt so low, depressed, purposeless. I questioned my entire life after that. I just needed somebody to listen to me. Help me pick up these pieces, please. Now I'm gonna take a break real quick because I can see some faces and I'm sure you're asking yourself, why the hell did you stay there so long if this was happening? I'm gonna tell you why. I stayed because I thought what I was doing was the right way to show my daughter how to face adversities that life could throw at you. And I felt like my responsibility being a parent meant that I needed a decent job in a decent field so that I could give my baby all the things she needed. But at what cost? After that, I decided to work really hard on a strategy for my exit. How could I take 9 years of experience and transition away from a field that I had held such high hopes for? All those tears I cried had to be for something, right? April 2021. I found a mentor through the Brown Mama's mentoring program. She listened, and it felt so good to be seen, heard, and most importantly, understood. And after that, I got a therapist. Going to therapy made me realize the reason I stayed was way deeper than the job. Slowly, surely,
walking away from. In the background, I continued to play the game long enough to collect more skill sets, like I was Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones. I kept telling myself, if I could build a DEI program, then I could do other things too. I worked on myself day and night, praying and meditating on all of the next moves I was going to make. And then, June of 2022, had my first interview in over 9 years, and I was offered a career change that my skills have been preparing me for all along. As my self-esteem grew, the boulder that I pushed felt lighter. I was so proud to show my family, my friends, and most importantly, my daughter, that although I was down, I was not out. I put the work in and got the payoff that I was looking for. Putting in my 2 weeks freed me from that damn hamster wheel. Being in biotech gave me the opportunity to be in a space where not a lot of Black people exist, let alone thrive. Working at that company gave me the opportunity to make a change, even if it wasn't in the lab like I wanted it to be. By implementing that DEI program, I was able to plant seeds for change to grow. Speaking of growth, let me tell y'all something. This whole experience leading up to right now talking to you has made me realize that I am capable of doing amazing things. I just have to continue to trust myself and be okay with who I am and what it is that I have to offer. I am always going to be proud of me for enduring every single thing that company tried to throw at me. Through hard work and faith, I manifested my way out of a place that was draining me. And I have accepted that the journey that left me off of my path has now led me to my purpose. Because I trust my process, I am very happy to stand here right now in front of all of y'all to say that I am so happy to show my daughter the power of moving from places where we have been tolerated to a space where I can now flourish, thrive, and be my whole authentic self.
You can win your head to the sky. You can win, yeah, as long as you keep your head to the sky. My, you can win as long as you keep your head to the sky.